This is the Fuel Sports Network.
And that's the bottom line. You want a war? You're going to get one.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It seems like I've been gone a long time. As you can see, I've been working on the tan a little bit, starting to get my summer bronze look to me. So camping will do that. And when I wasn't spending 2 or 3 times going to the storm shelter to dodge tornadoes all weekend, I did have a good Memorial Day weekend. So hope everybody else did too. Well, this is pretty much what we thought it was going to happen when we saw the schedule come out and the season progressed. Is here we are, week 10, and we're playing the Brahmas for all the marbles. I shouldn't say we, I should say the Battlehawks, right? But it's all going to come down to week 10. And instead of flying solo tonight, because my co-host, Easy E, is still committed to that coaching baseball thing 5 nights a week. And I haven't seen Mike come in yet. So I'm going to bring in a guy that you guys probably know by now. He always refers to them as the No G with a Z, P-O-D, Smoking Guns podcast. Let's bring in Phil. Hey, Phil, how are you doing?
What is going on, Ed? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for the
I am definitely ready for this. I have the luxury of having the confidence that we've already went to San Antonio once this year and took care of business. So
two very different teams. Two very different teams there at the beginning of the year and now. San Antonio not very sure of themselves in that first game. St. Louis was kind of riding high and riding on momentum. A.J. McCarron was there and solid. Two very different teams as they head to St. Louis this week. I think it's kind of flipped. I think San Antonio's kind of strutting, feeling good about themselves.
Are you saying we are at a crossroads? Because The Battlehawks are definitely not playing their best football of the year when you want to be. But we can definitely say there's a reason for that, though.
This is right where everybody should want to be. Whether you're a Battlehawks fan, a Brahmas fan, or just a UFL fan, this is exactly where you want to be. You want the last week of the season to mean something. This is obviously a rivalry. It started in earnest with that very first XFL game all the way back 2 years ago in the Alamo Dome. And now it's going to progress through this game to find the home field advantage for what will be a week later, a playoff game for the XFL Conference Championship and the right to go and play somebody, Birmingham, in the championship game. But this has really become like these two teams are really starting to develop something, which is odd because San Antonio's rivals should be Houston or Arlington, but it just doesn't feel like it has the same juice as St. Louis does. It feels like that's where the juice is.
Yeah, well, I listen faithfully to all the different podcasts down there and Smoking Guns for sure. And I get the general feel that, yeah, you're right. This could definitely become quite a rivalry if it's not already, because, as upsetting as you guys get down there listening to St. Louis fans talk about attendance all the time, St. Louis fans are starting to get the same impression of San Antonio fans in the fact that you keep trying to sell us on the fact that 12,000 people are louder in a dome than 35,000 people. So
Why don't you come down here and find out? Why don't you come down here next week and find out?
Well, I don't know about that.
We will extend the invitation to you to come down next week for the XFL Championship game. We'll see how loud it gets. No, look, the Alamo Dome has not, as San Antonio fans, it's not a secret, have not produced the numbers, certainly that you guys did in St. Louis, but really not even produced the numbers that we saw last year in the XFL and even with our previous venture there in the Alamo Dome, the AAF's Commanders, which is where I kind of started with all of this media stuff. Leo and I and RC all gathered together for the Commanders, and when that fell apart, and that's what I think has held some San Antonio fans off in a way. We lost the Commanders. There was 24-27. We were supposed to have a game against Memphis for the San Antonio Commanders that was going to have 30,000 in the Alamo Dome, and it got canceled. And if you lose half of that kind of fan base who gets their heart broken and says, I'm not buying into this until I'm sure of it, and then the XFL comes along and we do okay. We had a terrible season in San Antonio last year, and that hurt things because San Antonio is kind of a fickle sort of town where you have to be winning to really move the needle. But then the merger gave a lot of people the willies, like, is this thing solid or is it not? And I think one of the things the UFL has to do is just keep things solid and steady for about 3 seasons. No relocation, no expansion, no changes, no mergers, no changes in league name. Just be what you're going to be for 2 or 3 seasons so that fans can once again hook in and go, okay, this thing is legitimate and solid and I can buy in. Because I think San Antonio fans specifically are going, I don't trust it. I don't trust putting my money in season tickets and then losing 2 or 3 games worth of value because the league folds. And a merger hurt, and I know that the AAF heard that.
Well, I'm going to bring in my co-host for tonight because he may be the only independent. He's going to be the independent voice of reason tonight. Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
What's up, fellas? How are you doing tonight?
How's it going, Mike?
He's, of course, he's a Michigan Panther fan. So as we talk about the Birmingham-Michigan matchup, I'm sure he's going to have plenty to say on that. In fact, why don't we go ahead and let's bring on, let's get the highlights for the Michigan game, and we'll talk about that game when we come back.
Structurally, they never get out of position, and they put pressure on the opposing offense. So it is Henderson to start this quarter, and a strike to Justin Hall, and there's the speed of Justin Hall. He's gone. Touchdown, Houston. Weeks, and Adam, last week 77% for over 100 yards. This is a great opportunity for him. Pick on a beautiful deflection. Tip to himself. It is the number one thing a quarterback can do. Henderson, a little step, the toss to Hall, finds the seam, finds the end zone again.
180, my son.
Thompson trying to navigate and push, and the roughneck offense is looking solid right now. The center has got to release and get up and block him. Draw play, Perkins looking for the end zone. He's got it for the touchdown. Be the unblocked player right there. Jacobs the unblocked player. Perkins keeps it. Working to the right for the touchdown in the lead. Bryce Perkins.
180, my son.
The line to gain is the 19. Henderson stepping up deep downfield, and it's incomplete. Knocked away. Nate Brooks makes the play, and Michigan is going to come back from down double digits.
So, Mike, what was your impression after that game? I know that, as it turns out, it didn't have much of a bearing on playoff seeding or anything like that, but did you have a better feeling of the team going into the Week 10 of the playoffs, or what was your impression?
It's a team that can. I think they've won different ways throughout the season. Now we got to see a comeback win, being down 10 points. A lot of throughout the season, multiple quarterbacks come through the rotation, and I think all quarterbacks have contributed to wins. And I think this is a very exciting football team. They're in every game. They had Birmingham on the ropes, even in week 2 with EJ Perry. Could have been the overtime game, going, early in the season. And right now, the fan base is really behind Bryce Perkins right now, even though he's a new addition to the Michigan Panthers. They see he has some wheels. He has another factor to his play at quarterback versus the other guys who are more of your true pocket passers. We saw Danny Etling. He's able to run some, but the fan base is really fired up behind Bryce Perkins right now.
Well, so knowing now that we found out that Ford Field has a scheduling conflict and that there's no chance for Michigan to host a playoff game, does that really change anything for
Not
Week 10?
Not when you look at the tiebreakers. They have to beat Birmingham by, I think, 23 points. So,
yes.
It's a really tall order. Is it possible? Sure, but is it slim? Very light. It's a slim to, I don't want to say none, but I don't see them blowing out Birmingham. Birmingham's going to play to win this game because they need to get back on track. They want to go into their playoff game.
I don't know. Do either of these teams really care what happens in this game? I mean, Birmingham is kind of set as the home team. You don't want to play your hand. You don't want to show your hand.
That's the thing.
Do both teams just kind of lay back and say, it's going to be very vanilla and very basic because this game doesn't really mean much of anything. Next week is what's important. I wonder if either team's going to come out with much of a game plan.
We talked about this last show, too. It's going to be very interesting because you might want to, maybe try some plays to kind of, I think it's going to be I think we're going to have a little gamesmanship, a little chess match going on. And, and maybe you adjust throughout practice. You run a play that let's see how this looks. What look do they give us? Then, maybe adjust it during the week and then bring it back out, maybe in another formation. Do you flip it? There's a whole bunch of stuff I think that you can do with this week and that you can go back to the drawing board and adjust it for when it really counts in the playoffs. So I don't think you want to fully, rest guys. And Mike Nolan, if you rest guys, you still want to be sure you want your guys to be paid. That's why they're playing. So if you deactivate a guy, then, I'd like to see a guy like Nate McCreary get more action at running back. So maybe you start him and see how he does in that position, especially early in the game. Because you definitely don't want to have any injury, especially in week 10. You don't want this to be a NFL when against Houston Texans when Wes Welker went down before the playoffs for the Patriots. So that was a big loss back then. That was in 2009. So you don't want anything like that. Even with Wes Hills going down, who's like pretty much like one of the heart and souls of the Michigan offense. A big running back like him going down, the whole team just, you felt it on the sideline, you felt it in the crowd. We were all just kind of like, whoa, like this is devastating. And the team rallied around. They they still kept it playing, and they got the end zone. They're winning football games, but they definitely would like to have Wes Hills out there.
Well, let's go to a quick break, and when we come back, I got someone else to bring on. And we'll get into a little discussion about the very team Birmingham that you're going to be facing for the next couple weeks. We'll be right back.
If you aren't perfect, if you've ever struggled, if you've ever failed, if you want to get better, be better, and make our world better, this is the perfect brand for you. True Victory. Founded by U.S. military veterans, True Victory is a sportswear and streetwear brand dedicated to building everyday champions on and off the field. We're a cause. Our purpose is to transform lives and elevate humanity through the power and unity of sports, positive stories, and serving others. We're dedicated to the game, the grind, and the globe. But most importantly, we're dedicated to you. That's what it means to be. Always true.
Before we get into the discussion of Birmingham, let me bring on the second third of the No G with the Z, POD, Smoking Guns podcast. Let's bring on Leo. Hey, Leo.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
We are doing fantastic. So did I get that right, Phil?
Yeah.
Does it have the same?
With the Z, POD.
I was going to say, I don't know that it had the same effect as you, but I tried. So let's get into the discussion of Birmingham. And before we talk about it, courtesy of the UFL, let's take a look at the Birmingham San Antonio highlights from week 9.
With this thing, the end of humanity. Here's Dormady, who played his high school ball, and Bernie just up the road. And last season with Orlando, that was his dude, Cody Latimer. He makes the catch for 25 yards.
Veteran type of guy, and A.J. Smith, offensive coordinator, says his presence on how to be a professional.
Double pass, complete, Justin Smith.
Contact. Hey, Luke's, all that is great, but I've got a little fun one here for you. How about Max Memories as we have a big play here?
Hold that dot, Jontre Kirkland. Opening drive of the game. Alize Mack in motion, off top, extension, Morgan Ellison. Bo Peep given to him by his grandma. Oh, the no-look to Jay Sternberger, the Fighting Aggie to the 20. Inside the 10. Offensive snaps in that game. He's hungry for another shot.
Martinez, Sternberger got 6. He got him down there. Cody Latimer left in the first half of this game with an apparent leg injury. Ellison bouncing, rumbling into pay dirt. Pressure. Martinez, how did he do it again? Throwing middle of the field, picked off. Yes, yes, we win, we win, we win, we win, we win.
Music to your ears. Music to your ears. I would say, I'll go first on this. I would say San Antonio did an outstanding job of really making Birmingham one-dimensional. You take away Martinez for rushing. He had 5 carries for 56 yards. The rest of them had 10 carries for 22 yards. So when San Antonio's defense does that kind of a job of shutting down the running game, then once you make them one-dimensional like that, it's just, San Antonio has the defense to keep them in check, and that's exactly what they did. Go ahead,
Yeah, I've
Neil.
been saying since the beginning of the season that the defense is kind of the bread and butter of this team. The offense has gone through a couple different phases, but the defense has been, the constant and kept them in games, through some of the rough spots there in the middle with Normandy where he struggled a bit. But that defense, I think really, really surprised the Stallions coming in. Birmingham, I think, came in and thought they were going to be able to be more physical than the Brahmas. I think they were going to rough them up a bit, and they thought they were going to be able to out physical that Brahmas team, and they found out real quick that's not the case.
Well, Phil, I'm big on third down efficiency because I think a lot of times it comes down to the flow of the offense and letting your defense have time on the sidelines to make the adjustments they need and get the rest they need. You look at Birmingham for that game, they were 3 for 10 on third downs. That's just not good enough.
No, yeah. What do we always hear? What have we always heard all of our lives when it comes to football? What wins championships? Defense and running the ball. And San Antonio can do both of these things. They've got a really stout, strong defense. And when you look at Ellison, McFarland, and Lovett, I don't know that there's a better backfield. I know there's not one in the UFL, but that's almost NFL level kind of production out of 3 running backs. And so if Chase Garbers or Quentin Dormady or whoever is just managing the passing side of the offense, if we're running the ball, if the Brahmas are running the ball the way they're supposed to, and their defense doesn't give up the big play, I don't see why there's any reason why there's any team that they can't beat. Obviously, they beat the team nobody could beat. Which is not really fair because Birmingham has kind of looked beatable all year long and kind of, just kind of squeezed some out of there. But nobody else had beat them. San Antonio beat them.
Yeah, and St. Louis, they had a chance to beat Birmingham, but they just didn't play good enough. I mean,
could have, but did not.
That's right. They did not. They but the same thing plagued them is the fact that their third down efficiency just isn't what it needs to be on offense or defense. As lackluster they've been on third downs on offense, they've been almost just as bad on defense in the other way. And the fact that our defense just can't get off the field. Doesn't matter whether it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 16, 3rd and 10. It'd be 3rd and 10, they'll get 11. If they need 15, they get 16. It's kind of like a slow drip frustration that I've had all season long, and it's something they really got to change if they want to win this weekend. That's for sure.
I think it'll be really interesting to see if the Brahmas have now exposed something that I really think Michigan is built well to do what the Brahmas did and just kind of look at that blueprint and how the Brahmas beat Birmingham and go, we've got a really good defense. We've got an offense that can manage the game and manage the ball and score some points. Maybe we can build on this sort of thing and pull out something surprising here. We see it all the blueprint. Yeah, we see it all the time in football where a team looks unbeatable and then one team figures something out and team after team starts game planning based on that blueprint, and all of a sudden it doesn't look as unbeatable as it did all year long. There's no reason that Michigan couldn't do that.
Absolutely.
Well, Mike, I think that Michigan's got got a defense that's more than capable of keeping Martinez under control. I think
second best defense in the UFL.
Yeah, I just think it comes down to whether Michigan can put points on the board, enough points on the board to get over the hump. What do you think, Mike?
Well, now that, with, what we've seen last game against Houston, we've seen Bryce Perkins against DC too. He's got some wheels. So maybe give Birmingham a taste of their own medicine with, when they have Adrian Martinez running around. That's what smoked Michigan in week 2. Now we get them again. And with the, if they can, look at the film from the Brahmas. So thank you, Brahmas, to, laying out that roadmap, how to contain running quarterback, and then throw that kind of same deal right back at Birmingham. So it's and there's so many. It's probably keeping a lot of teams up at night. What to do against Michigan's offense, because I think there's so many different directions that this Michigan offense can go. We've seen them how they can throw the ball well if they're in rhythm. We've seen them run the ball, so it's a really, I'd say, a balanced offense. But now you add these quarterbacks in the mix. Okay, are we prepping for a pocket passer and Danny Etling, or we go with a dual threat like a Bryce Perkins? So I mean, either one could play at any given time during the game, and so it's really no telling. I don't even know who Mike Nolan's going to start. So until we see that depth chart come out, but I couldn't tell you right now. So that may keep the Stallions kind of on the edge of their seat because you don't know. And then they go and bring in the Vegas Vipers defensive coordinator. So now is Michigan going back and watching all the Vegas Vipers tape? Is that a strategy they use? Let's get Michigan going back to watching XFL film of last season, take some time away from their prep. So I think a lot of things going on, and it's let the games begin. And
with all three teams have experienced pretty substantial injuries. I mean, Battlehawks have went without AJ now for a couple of weeks, and now this last week San Antonio lost Cody Latimer, which is huge. I mean, I'll just say it again. I had him on my fantasy team last year, and he was a beast. So I've kind of always kept an extra eye on Cody Latimer, and I was really hoping that the Battlehawks would get a hold of him. But then Michigan loses Hill, their best running back. So it's kind of like survival of the fittest where we're at right now. And I guess, Leo, do you think San Antonio is going to be able to weather the storm, with missing out on Latimer now?
Well, not only do they lose the production of Latimer, but they're also losing his leadership. And that's a key loss as well to the team. But, they got plenty of guys on that team that are going to step up. The offense is a run-first offense, so I do believe they'll be able to weather the storm of that injury. The one, frankly, that I'm a little bit more concerned with is Anthony McFarland Jr. Because, he's nursing a shoulder injury again after being back, 2 weeks from a shoulder injury. I'm not sure if it's the same shoulder, probably is. But he has yet to practice this week. I don't know if he practiced today. I haven't been able to see the injury report, but I know up going into today, he was a DNP. Good thing John Lovett seems to be back at work in practice, so he's going to step in. And like Philip said, they got 3 guys, but still, you can see a big difference in that Brahmas offense when McFarland Jr. is available and on the field. He's a spark plug for sure, and I think that's kind of the bigger concern offensively for the Brahmas right now. It may be smarter of them to just kind of hold off on him if he's kind of on the fence, and keep him for the more important game, which is next week, come playoff time. But yeah, they got some concerns for sure with some injuries.
Well, let's go to a break, and when we come back, we'll dive into a little bit more of the injury front. We'll be right back. So it's pretty much, I had to give you guys a little plug there, you know.
Heard our own theme music start up, and I was like, did I hit something? Did I hit a wrong button?
I did notice you did that. I wanted to see your guys' reaction, and I seen you kind of looking around like, what the hell? But no, I noticed, definitely in the last couple of weeks, McFarland has been a hell of a spark. I mean, against Birmingham, not only was he your leading rusher by far, but he was also your leading receiver as far as catches go. So he's been quite a spark for you guys. So, I would never wish injury on anybody because I'm one of those guys that I don't care who's playing who. I want, to be the best. You got to beat the best at their best.
Yep.
And no excuses for either side. So I just have a feeling that, if I'm going to go out there and, I was the one guy before the season started that never gave up on AJ, that I always told everybody he would be playing for the Battlehawks. I just have a feeling that the magnitude of this game, even though we're in the playoffs, both teams, it's still a huge, huge game this weekend. And I just think AJ is going to be playing. But, if AJ was out and Cody was out and McFarland was out, it just takes too much away from the game. I want to see both teams at their best.
So I do have some news here.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Do I have to do the breaking news here?
Yeah, let's throw it up.
Oh yeah, we got to do the breaking news here.
There you go.
This is from the UFL Communications Department 6 minutes ago. We have a list of Week 10 inactives here. So I'll start with the Birmingham Stallions here. Safety JoJo Tillery, we have inactive. Defensive back Neville Clark. Wide receiver Isaiah Zuber. running back Ricky Person Jr. inactive. Linebacker DeMarcus Gates inactive. O-lineman O'Shea Douglas is gone, or not gone, but inactive. And defensive end DeMarcus Mitchell. For the Panthers side, a couple big names on here. So we have safety Corian Ballard, wide receiver Marcus Sims inactive, linebacker Noah Dawkins, running back Matthew Colburn inactive, defensive end Kenny Wilkes inactive, tackle James Walker and Ryan Pope. Both tackles are inactive. So maybe we're like Philip was saying, maybe this is one where we just, hey, let's get through this game. Maybe run some plays, formations, see how they adjust to it without having your star power out there. So it's what I want, with as far as the running back room goes. It sounds like we're going to see some Nate McCrary and the running back that they had a couple weeks ago join since West Hills went down. Get more action at running backs for those guys. So good to see Saginaw Valley State getting the start. It appears, I would assume, at running back.
So are you going to keep us all hanging then? You don't have the San Antonio, St. Louis inactives?
I do not. Not this moment.
Oh,
God. I saw
got me all excited.
I saw Leo and Phil get all perked up when you said breaking news.
All right, here it is.
Oh,
here it is. Yep. So this is just after. So we'll start with the Battlehawks. So Marcel Aitman inactive. Wide receiver Jeff Thomas inactive. Free safety Ben DeLuca is inactive. You got your free safety. I'm gonna butcher his first name. Cole Free is number 32, inactive. Number 50 is tackle Teton Salsace is inactive. Hopefully if I'm not butchering these guys' names here. Abdul Beecham, guard, number 62 is inactive, and wide receiver Jerome Cap for the Battlehawks is also inactive. Now we're gonna roll on to the San Antonio the Brahmas here. So you have John Lovett inactive, running back. Tim Ward, outside linebacker, who made huge plays against Michigan, inactive. Defensive back AJ Hendy is inactive. Running back Anthony McFarland is also inactive.
Boy.
Yeah, I mean, you have how do you pronounce your inside linebacker Joel? Long last name. I'm gonna butcher it, so I will save. Number 52. You can search on the UFO see yourself inactive. Rashawn Coward is offensive lineman number 69 is inactive, and so is defensive tackle number 99 Kavion Patton is also inactive. So of those listed names, is there any for you guys the XFL side of things? There, I heard a couple woes with the back room with the Brahmas here. So
yeah, with Lovett and McFarland both being out, that means everything is on Ellison to carry us through the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to reach out and pick up another running back. I mean, Ellison, you don't think Ellison is the kind of guy that's going to carry, all of your carries. You feel like you've got to have somebody else back there. So
well, you got a diamond in the rough with Morgan Ellison anyway when you got him. I'm kind of surprised that he went that long without somebody picking him up. So I guess feel good about the fact that you guys had that kind of depth at running back. But definitely that's three big hits on your offense that I guess is undeniable. But that's tough. I mean, with the Battlehawks. Go ahead, Leo.
I was just going to say for a team that, really depends on their running game, and it's not, that they have the one bell cow guy that they lean on. It's by committee. And to be missing two of the three, that's really, really significant for this offense. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I had seen that Lovett had actually practiced in limited capacity, so I was hopeful that he was going to be back.
Yeah, but the one thing that you got to keep in mind is, again, as much as both teams would like to have a home playoff game, if McFarland can rest up for a week and be back, if Lovett can rest up and be back, you're better served to do that than to have them both get nicked up even worse, and now they're out for the playoff game. You definitely don't want that. So
just knowing
That's
AJ
for sure.
Smith like we seem to know him, watching him with Houston last year, San Antonio this year, and knowing what they have now in their backfield available to them, look for a lot of screens and jet sweeps, a lot of side-to-side stuff, getting balls into playmakers' hands close to the line of scrimmage and allowing them, and in space, and allowing them to make plays as part of the running game. Because screens aren't a run, they're a pass, but they're a run. It's a running play, you know?
Yeah, no, I think this week 10 with the laundry list of inactives for, all four teams, really, it's just everybody saying, look, week 10 means something, but it doesn't mean something. The playoff game is more important, and I just think they're resting players. I mean, pure and simple. Like Sabrina says, I guess we're going to find out who's deeper, because they always say next man up. It's next group up for.
Well, I
for
think too,
basically
even the
all
guys.
teams.
Well, I think this is a exciting opportunity for the guys who are getting the nod this week. You think about these guys who maybe they haven't played much, but hey, you're getting a start in a UFL football game. So, I've thought the players talking about, hey, your film is your resume. Like, hey, this is a big deal for a lot of these guys too. So I would be just excited to see what your depth players can do, because that's how, we've here, even when I was at the Michigan town hall, we had Jim Pop there. And, with all these NFL fans, when they talk about UFL football, it's not like the NFL football, but most NFL fans, they can name, your starting group, your first 25 players, but they don't have a clue who the back half of your roster is. And when you see like these guys playing, you could be like, oh, this guy could be a NFL Sunday player. So I think I'm going to be tuned in all these games, no matter what these stakes are, because I want to see who these players are. And I think it's really cool for, the players personally, their families out there watching. So good stuff. I think it's gonna be really great. And I hope these guys who are playing, they have a good showing.
Well, face it, the first time around against San Antonio, the Battlehawks were able to keep San Antonio's defense kind of on their heels a little bit with the passing game. But now, with Manny Wilkins taking the helm, as much as I hear some of the St. Louis fans talk about, how great he is as far as his rushing ability and his scrambling ability and keeping plays alive, I think last week was a perfect example. St. Louis made no bones about the fact that they wanted to fill the air with footballs. The wide receiving core that they put together before the season started with A.J. McCarron, their idea was fill the, throw, high-octane offense. What's happened with Manny taking over? First quarter last week kind of set it all for me. They did a quick wide receiver screen in the first quarter, and he took a couple steps back, and instead of just zipping that ball out to the wide receiver to give him a chance to run in space, he lobbed it over there. By the time the wide receiver got the ball, the defense had a chance to react, and it was no gain. Same way the 3 interceptions he had in the fourth quarter last week. If you look at those plays, and I watched them over and over and over again, no zip on the ball. Everything had way too much air under it, made for interceptions. And, when you got big play receivers like Hakeem Butler, taking advantage of Aitman's height, you got Ja'Cour Pearson, that's a big play receiver. They pretty much have been non-existent the last 2 weeks. I wrote down some information on the wide receivers. If you look at the Battlehawks impact receivers, you would say Ja'Cour Pearson should be an impact receiver. Hakeem Butler should be an impact receiver. The last 2 weeks of Manny Wilkins, you've got Butler, 5 catches for 51 yards, no touchdowns, 2 games combined. You got Ja'Cour Pearson, 2 games combined, 2 catches for 13 yards. just isn't going to get it done.
Hakeem Butler was the key to St. Louis's win in San Antonio at the beginning of the year. Like, that was all Hakeem Butler. And obviously A.J. McCarron got the ball to him. But I was tired of seeing Hakeem Butler by the end of that game as a Brahmas fan.
Yeah.
Like, I was ready to be done with that.
Yeah, so, as much as, Shepard, Mitchell, I look at Shepard and Mitchell, and even the use of Gallman is really being possession receivers. And it's just not, I'll go back to the fact that it's just not what the Battlehawks built their offense to be. And so let's take one last break here for this hour. And when we come back, we'll continue on with this discussion. We'll get these two guys' predictions on how this game's going to go. We'll be right back. So I'm going to put out a little question to the three of you. I'll let Phil go first, and we'll have Mike start in after that, and we'll end with Leo as the final say. I'm going to pose a question to you, Phil, and you fill in the blank. The San Antonio Brahmas beat the Battlehawks and take the game home to San Antonio in Week 10 if
they show up. No, I'm
that was my answer.
I thought you was going to say if they have more points than the other team when the game's over. But
nope. If San Antonio shows up, here's the thing, and I don't say that as a Brahmas. I mean, I am a Brahmas fan, and I really do want a home game in San Antonio. But the way I look at things, I feel like San Antonio feels going into this game they've got much more to play for this week than St. Louis does. St. Louis is not so worried about this week. They want to win next week. They want to go home to the Dome for the championship game. So I don't see that St. Louis is really worried about playing a game in San Antonio. I don't think they're afraid of the San Antonio crowd. Maybe they should be. That's a whole different conversation. No. San Antonio wants to bring the game home. Wade Phillips realizes and recognizes that he has a reputation of slowing down at this time of year. So he's going to be pushing his guys forward to win this game. I just feel like San Antonio has a lot more on the line, or feels like they do, than St. Louis does. So if they show up and they play their game, I don't think St. Louis beats them, and it sets up a great game in San Antonio for the XFL Conference Championship game.
Mike?
Yeah, I would like to see it in San Antonio for the conference. So because we all know it's going to be in.
I thought you were going to back me up tonight. You just piling on now.
There's you draw a line in the sand. There's a point where it goes to a certain point. Like it's what I think would be good for the market too, with fans like, oh hey, we can this is a conference championship game, have fans show out there, but I think it would be this is gonna be a tough team. They're hot right now. Wade Phillips has his team firing on all cylinders, so it's gonna be let's see. I want to see what it's gonna look like with all of these chirping battle chicken, hawk, pigeon, war pigeon fans that the check was already cashed, and I want to see what happens when that check bounces and it goes in the way of San Antonio. That's what I want to see, but we'll see what happens at kickoff. But with who knows with these inactives here, I mean, that changes the whole thing. With the running backs here that aren't playing for, with this at stake, how much does it matter to the San Antonio Brahmas when they have their running back core basically inactive for a game of this magnitude? So I think if you're a Battlehawk fan, I think you're all right. We can lock this thing in and run it back next week in St. Louis. So now are we giving predictions now, or is that more at the end of the show?
Well, we'll give official prediction after Leo gets done. Leo might change everybody's mind here.
Let's hear it.
So the question was the San Antonio Brahmas win the game if, and then fill in the blank, right?
Yep.
Okay. The Brahmas win the game if they can be not predictable on offense. That is kind of one concern, one complaint that we've had as Brahma fans watching the game, on how predictable the offense can be at times with the little screenplays and dinks and dunks and not mixing up the offense as much as we'd like. With 2 of the 3 running backs not playing, that's a big concern of mine, that they kind of revert back to a lot of these short screenplays, even when on 3rd and long situations. If they can't lean on that run game, they may change up the offense altogether. Now, if they can be creative in the ways that they do it, I think they win. But if they're going to be predictable as they have been in pretty large spurts this season, I think the Battlehawks are going to come out as the winner.
Well, they do have an air raid offense. AJ Smith, they shoot it all around, spread all around, short passes. It's a little mixture of air raid and run and shoot. So
they do, and they should.
Leo,
when he comes back, I believe AJ Smith is a disciple or a pupil of Mike Leach. So, and he's learned from the Mummy offense, air raid offense. So it's a fun offense to watch. It's actually one of my favorites to use. Like if I was coaching, and it works for spring football too, because I got to watch Bart Andrews coach up in close and personal with the Philadelphia Stars last year. So it's really, and if you keep the concept simple, because practices are short enough at the pro level football, and it's a dangerous offense once you're hitting on all cylinders. So, and they can run out of the formations too. So spread them out, create the running lanes. So I don't think there's any flaw. I don't think it's any I don't think it's a predictable offense is what some fans may make it out to be, but still a dangerous offense.
I would say that we'll bring Leo back now, because I think he's got it figured out. There he is.
Nope.
And there he went. I think that San Antonio's got the caliber of a defense that can win any type of game, whether it's high scoring or low scoring. I think the biggest thing for San Antonio is what kind of offensive coordinator is the Battlehawks going to have for Saturday's game? Is it going to be the conservative offensive coordinator? Because it seems like when Grakowski gets conservative, it's an ugly conservative. I would almost rather see the Battlehawks go down in flames trying to push the ball down the field than this handoff straight up the middle, 3-yard passes, no, 0 passes, because if you can't get consistency on third down, and you're going to end up every week being 3 for 13 on third downs, 3 for 11 or whatever, you're just never going to get the consistency at offense that's going to keep our defense off the field, making the adjustments they need to make. Those 3 and outs just can't happen. The Battlehawks got to be able to sustain drives if they have any hope at all of beating San Antonio. So with that said, Phil, we'll start with you. What's the official prediction for the game?
San Antonio over St. Louis, 18-15, finally wiping away the ghosts of the inaugural game of the XFL 3.0, where St. Louis came into the Alamo Dome and beat the Brahmas 18-15. We are going to finally cap all of that off by going into the Dome in St. Louis and winning 18-15 to bring the XFL Conference Championship game back to San Antonio.
Mike?
Oh, boy. I don't have a score prediction. I'm gonna go Brahmas here. I think they're rolling right now. And it's just what I personally want to see too. So I want to see the Brahmas hosting this thing, and let's see how things shake out. I think it'll make for good TV.
All right. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, Mike. And this is the second or third time you've done that to me. You're suspended for the rest of the hour. Okay, Leo. What's your prediction?
Well, I'm not going to predict what I want to happen. I'm going to predict what I think will happen or what maybe should happen. I'm about to be the most unpopular guy in San Antonio. That's a UFL fan. But I'm going to predict a 19-17 loss for the Brahmas. Philip will tell you, I think she's shaking his head, but he knows that I am a situational likelihood kind of fan. I look at situations and I'm like, I look at the odds, and when you have a 2 games in a row with 2 tightly contested teams, as every game has been, I think this is a rivalry game for sure. I don't see any other team a bigger rival for the Brahmas than the St. Louis Battlehawks. And in those types of games, it can go either way. But in front of that home crowd and with the injuries the Brahmas have right now, I would rather lose this one and win the second one. I have a tough time swallowing or believing that either one of these teams is capable of winning 2 in a row in 2 weeks' time with so much on the line. So what I'm hoping for is a Brahmas loss this week, followed by a win next week when they've got some guys back. I just think that's the more likely scenario than winning in St. Louis and then coming down to San Antonio and winning a second game in a row. I don't want to win in St. Louis and come back home and then lose. I'd rather play 2 games over there and come away with the win that counts. So that's what I'm pulling for as a Brahmas fan. And also, I think the more likely scenario. So I'm not predicting what I want to happen. I'm predicting what I think is more likely to happen.
I just want to let you know, Leo, that I have a backstage that was doing the wave a little bit ago when Phil was done to now. They're all, Leo, I think you're going to have to go into hiding, but
I'm sticking my neck out there in order to be the best Brahmas fan that I can be, because I want the win next week not the win this week.
You were the chosen one. It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them. Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness. What are you doing?
I want to thank both of you guys for coming on. It was nice hearing the Dark Side's prediction for the game.
You were my brother.
Why don't you guys give a shout out? Let everybody know where they can find you, and then we'll go to a break.
We are on all of the social media that you can find at Smoking Guns Pod. That's Smoking OG, Guns with a Z, POD. Our show is live usually on Monday nights, unless it's a holiday or something weird happens, at 7 p.m. Central Time. We talk about the Brahmas. Obviously, we've talked lots about that, but we also cover the San Antonio Gunslingers of the Indoor Football League, which is a blast. If you're not familiar with indoor football and you like the game of football, I think you're going to love indoor football. Give it a try. But we covered them as well. Come hang out with us on a Monday night, and we'll talk about football here in San Antonio.
Awesome, guys. Well, again, thanks for joining me, and we'll do it again.
You bet.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Ed.
Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Came for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. Came for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. I'm on my job, I get it done, but you should know that. Shine like a sun, a 101, you should know that. I get the front and in the back, you should know that. No need to stun, it's never cap, you should know that. All I know, 10 toes, never fold, bang roll, on the go, ice wall, ice wall, ice wall. Came for my win, I need my hands. This life is real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. Came for my win, I need my hands. This life is real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in.
Where, guys, we got an action-packed hour 2 coming up. We'll be right back.
This is the Fuel Sports Network.
And that's the bottom line. You want a war? You're going to get one.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last. but bad guys do.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to really put you to the test this hour because, as star-studded as I had in hour one, I doubled it up in hour two. So let's bring on our guests. We'll bring them on. We'll start with the loudest. So here's SH.
What is up, St. Louis?
And let's bring on the next guy who's looking forward to the 70s on Saturday.
Oh, I got my victory cigar ready to go too. I usually reserve these for Arlington, but this week it's your guys' turn.
Here's the other half of Texas Talking Football. Had to bring BD on. He's
Damn
like
it, you know what? Hold on. I don't have a cigar, but you know what? Here. I got a screwdriver, so.
And last but not least, someone that's known throughout the UFL along with the sombrero. Let's bring on Brahma Babe. How you doing?
Good. I have my lip gloss.
Look at that. That's what you call a full screen.
Yep.
So we'll see how good I do at trying to control you guys.
Good luck.
See, there was my opportunity to say that, and I didn't say it. So things are looking up.
If you wanted to control us, you should have never invited us. You knew what we were when you invited us.
Yeah.
You want to say in Spanish?
Say it in Spanish, my friend.
So there's a saying we have in Spanish. Si sabes cómo soy, ¿por qué me invitas? If you know how I'm gonna be, why'd you invite me?
Boom. I'm getting that tattooed right in here.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. So
I'd be like, as the lone USFL guy in here, I'd be like, when Clint Eastwood rides in the town, and everyone's all looking, and here comes the USFL guy. So
Amanda says, Amanda says it's the Three Stooges. So I want to know which three.
Team. So
sounds like a dealer's choice right there.
That is mean to say that to Renee. I cannot believe she called Renee that. Honestly, it's not a stooge in my heart.
So are you guys aware? We had breaking news, and I'm not sure if you guys heard the breaking news or not.
I saw it.
Mike went through the inactive list for Saturday.
A lot of big names.
San Antonio took some pretty big hits for inactive. So
every team has.
Yeah, I mean you can look at all four teams. The four teams that matter coming down to the end here. All four teams got a laundry list of inactives. So.
I saw the news that just came by, though, about QB1 coming out of St. Louis against us.
QB1 is going to be back, I am afraid.
Yeah, I just saw it come across about 30 minutes ago, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a surprise to absolutely nobody. So
yeah.
Well, and I will honestly say, just to show you how impartial I am, that AJ being back for this game is pretty much mandatory because with Manny, I didn't see a path to victory. So at least with AJ, I think that kind of puts a more even keel on this game.
Yep.
Speaking of, paths to victory and all that, for obviously, those of us backstage didn't see me when Leo made his pick earlier. This is what I was holding up.
Yeah. I was shaking my head. I was like, really? Really?
So I'm going to pose, as we talk about quarterbacks, is it the consensus from you guys that you're sold on Garbers going forward, or do you see Dormandy as a possibility? Why don't you go first, Jorge?
Honestly, I think it is a win-win because Dormandy has the record He took us 4-1 when Garbers was out. And yeah, he had some shaky plays, but he got the job done. It was a team effort, but each quarterback has their strengths and weaknesses. Garbers is really good at playing the football. He's really good at utilizing the strengths of John Trey Kirkland, for example, in the slot. And Dormady be more of a gunslinger. He can sling it down the field. It's a matter of accuracy and catching it is the big question there. But regardless, I think there's no bad choice between either one of them.
So I'm definitely going to agree with Jorge that each quarterback does have their own strengths. We have seen Garbers is a field general. He can go out there and he can command the team, especially with what we saw in Memphis, right? He was arguing with the OC about having to dump a pass because he was going to take a sack. It was the right call by the quarterback to make. So Garbers knows what to do on the field. Dormady's more kind of the grinder, right? He's going to just keep working and working and working. The combination of the two, that is what's going to lead us to a victory against a really strong team. Not going to tell you what my pick is for Sunday or for Saturday's game, but against a team like Birmingham, we saw the two-punch quarterback combo worked, right? We had Dormady soften them up and Garbers clean it up. So again, I think each quarterback has their strength, and I think we're in a good position running both quarterbacks out on the field right now.
So Renee, would you agree with the fact that Manny Wilkins is definitely the poor man's version of Adrian Martinez? You of course can't put him on the same level by any means, but San Antonio showed without a doubt that they could corral Martinez and basically make San Antonio or Birmingham pretty one-dimensional.
By far. I mean, who else is even when they were winning, when Birmingham was winning, who's held them to 9? I mean, our defense, I think our defense is just thriving. And, the fact that we do have that 1-2 punch, we've got somebody who can scramble as far as quarterback wise with Garbers. And then we've got somebody who can go down the field. I think that gives us kind of a, what's going on in the game? What are we going to be dealing with? And I think our defense is just, I mean, they're out lit right now. And I think we showed, first of all, that Birmingham is not, they can be defeated. And I think if anything, it gave us a little bit more confidence going into this game, seeing that we could take a team that everybody thought couldn't be beat. So I think the confidence level for our defense, but then I think also too, seeing the way the team deals with Garbers in lead and Dormady in lead, there is a difference. There's a different feel on the field. And we've seen that. We saw that in Houston. We've seen that in Memphis. We've seen it through the different games with each of these guys in. So I think, between the three, our defense stepping up and getting that confidence, and I think these two different quarterbacks, we have something that can maybe go against the Battlehawks with what they give back and what AJ can do.
So BD, going into the game with only Morgan Ellison basically as the last back standing, do you look at him as somebody that you think can shoulder the load for one game and keep your running game relevant?
Yes, I do. That's one of the strengths that this team had is we had 3 really solid running backs, and any day, like any one of them could have a hell of a day and just go off. So whoever's in the backfield, I don't really have any concerns.
So let's go to a break, and when we come back, I'll pose the same question to the 4 of you that I posed in the first hour to Leo and Phil. We'll be right back.
It's time I get in the game, forget the money and fame. Stay ready, making sure that they'll remember my name. I got a hunger inside when the numbers are tied. Yo, I'ma turn it up a level, never will be denied.
That first commercial was my favorite one. You played all, the whole time I've been watching.
Thank you for the shameless plug. Totally appreciate it.
That's how I roll. I keep telling Dirty and A-Train, it's like I have my shows every week and I'm plugging all your guys' shows and I don't see any love on the bottom line for any commercials or whatever. So, I guess
we will start returning the favor then.
That's right.
So here's my question to the four of you. And we'll go in reverse order this time. We'll let BD go first, and Renee, you can follow up.
Okay.
San Antonio wins the game on Saturday if
our defense continues to play the way it's been playing all year, and if our offense stays steady. We've had a lot of conversations throughout the year of our offense has started off fast, but kind of slowed down in the second half. We've had a lot of 0-score quarters or 0-score halves this year, which can't happen against a very good team like the Battlehawks. Our defense has been fantastic, but they single-handedly have won us several games. Our offense has to come out and shoulder a lot of that load this game.
And yes, Robert Rankin, we talked about earlier, Lovett and McFarland are inactive for the game. So Morgan Ellison is going to be strapping it up as the lead back. So we'll see what he's got. What do you say, Renee?
I agree with BD. I mean, obviously our defense has to keep going to where they've been. I'm going to venture out and say, obviously I agree also. We have been a great first half, but come that third quarter offensively, I don't know. It's like we just disappear, and it's like and I'm going to add something else, and this is a little nerve-wracking for me. Our kicking. We have not.
You stole my thunder.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to trump you at the very end and tell you guys why you were going to lose.
That is worrisome for me right now, because we are going through something right there that is a little worrisome. So I'm going to say, that is in the back of my mind. I'd like to see our offense keep going through that third quarter and not have to depend on that fourth quarter, and play 4 quarters, and defense keep doing what you're doing, but we need everybody to gel, and that kicking game is something that is in the back of my head.
You've got fans in St. Louis. I expect nothing less from the doctor, though. He's talking about Kurt Warner's son being signed. He's talking about his dad ruling the city, and now his son's going to tear our hearts out. So,
you know what? If it happens, I'd love it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Jorge, you're up.
So, obviously, echo what they said. The defense, obviously, keep doing what you're doing. I think this week offensively, because we're going to have Morgan Ellison and we're going to have Puka Williams in the backfield as the primary backs. Now, Puka Williams, we haven't seen much of him in the backfield, but historically, even though he's a little undersized, once he breaks free, that dude is shifty and fast, and he can just break away. But I think it's really going to be up to the receiving core to really step up and take off some of the pressure from the running game that we've relied on for so many weeks. Our offense, and AJ Smith in particular, is known for the air raid offense. So I think this is the time when we really have to flex that and show what our receivers are capable of through the air, and make sure that the receivers are also doing their part to make sure that they're not dropping balls, that they're catching easy ones, that they're breaking away, and so that's one. Obviously, special teams is the other one. Having spoken with special teams coordinator Coach Party, I know he's doing everything in his power to get all aspects of the special teams prepared and ready, because the past 2 weeks, 9 or 12 points have been left on the board because missed field goals. So that's another area where we have to make sure that we're careful. And lastly, just knowing and talking to some of the guys on the team, what they experienced last week in the Alamo Dome was unreal as far as the 12th man goes. And they want that when they want that in the playoffs. So I know that they're going to St. Louis wanting to bring that back to San Antonio. Now, in any team, it's difficult to beat back-to-back weeks. But if you can give yourself the advantage of the 12th man, just like we did with Birmingham last week, then I think that's ultimately going to be the difference maker, not only in this next week's game, but also in the playoff game.
One point I would make as far as the keys to the game too is the fact that the Battlehawks haven't scored in the first quarter for the last 4 weeks. And in the same respect, San Antonio hasn't given up a first quarter point since week 3 when they played St. Louis. So San Antonio has shown the last couple of weeks that they've been kind of turnover prone in the first quarter. And I think that if the Battlehawks want to have any kind of edge of the game, they've got to strike fast in the first quarter and make it happen and break the trend. I'm speaking directly to our offensive coordinator, but it's time to quit being so conservative. And if AJ's back in there, start filling the air with balls just like we did in the first part of the season. It seems like he's kind of starting to slide. Now, granted, he needed to slide conservative the last couple of weeks because Manny Wilkins just didn't have the experience as a starting quarterback, and you can't just throw him to the wolves and open up the playbook on week 1. So, yeah, he did need to ease him in. But last week I think that it showed a major flaw in Manny Wilkins' game, and the fact that I just don't think he has the zip that he needs to throw deep balls, puts too much air under him. And, look at those 3 interceptions again, like I said last hour. The 3 interceptions he threw in the fourth quarter, every one of them had way too much air under him. And as open as the receiver was when he threw the ball, defense just has way too much time to react because he just doesn't have the zip on it. So, okay, SAJ, you're up.
SAJ is up. So 2 potential scenarios could happen here.
By the way, if we're talking about who's loudest at the games or who's got the biggest mouth at the games, it looks like between the 4 of you, there's only one of you that still can't talk. So that kind of answers that question, right?
Yep. But don't you worry. I 100% will be game ready come Saturday. And offense and defense will hear me.
I think he just sounds like that because he's been in St. Louis for the week, and I think he walked by y'all's chicken coop, and that dust just kind of hit him, and he got that. I think that's what's causing that.
So did you guys manage to get row 1 seats, or did we put you in the upper deck?
Nope, right behind the Brahmas bench.
Row 1.
Yep.
Right behind the Brahmas bench where the Battlenecks are going to be. That'll be. Let's put it this way, guys. When you guys are at the tailgate, you got to go over and see the Battlenecks, and you guys got to kind of get that sort of a relationship built with them, because if they don't know you and you don't know them and you guys end up close to each other, it could end really bad.
For them. for them.
Hey, what's the saying again?
Si ya sabes cómo somos, porque nos invitas. I'm just saying. Look, we have been.
We were.
We have been. We had 8 people in Memphis, and we were louder than their little train horn that's supposed to be a boat horn, and all 8,000 fans that showed up to the game. You could hear us. That's one example. In DC, outside of the beer snake section, you can hear us. We have left our mark in every stadium that we go to, and I expect by the end of
Houston was damn near a home game for us.
That was.
By the end of the game, we anticipate hearing more Brahmas chants than we do Battlehawks chants in the dome at St. Louis Center, whatever.
So I gotta ask this question because Dirty, he seems to be one that always wants to throw it out there, and I keep telling him he's smoking something. He just keeps saying over and over and over that a San Antonio crowd of 12,000 are louder than St. Louis fans of 35,000.
He can speak
on that. Testify, baby. Testify.
Yep. All right,
well, Ed, hang on. Ed, you were there. I went to your home opener last year against Arlington when you had over 30,000 in your dome. The person that was with me, I turned to and had a normal conversation on an important stand that you guys needed to make.
We were probably on offense, so we know when to shut up.
You were on defense, and I had a normal conversation, and I was like, this is ridiculous. This place should be going nuts right now, and they weren't. So San Antonio knows how to bring the energy. Obviously, we've proven that time and time again, everywhere we've gone. Okay, even if it's 8 of us, that's a multiplier of like 5,000. Okay, we know how to bring the noise. Hopefully, you guys are ready for it because I don't think you're ready to hear what we're going to be bringing, and it's going to rattle your game. I promise you.
I'll tell you right now, Birmingham absolutely underestimated, and they actually made fun of me when I said, I don't think your team is ready for the noise that's going to come at them. And they said, and I quote, I was told by multiple Stallions fans, San Antonio is going to deploy the strategic move of crowd noise. Ooh, Birmingham by 90. And what happened at the end of the game? They were getting rattled. They were making missed false starts. The quarterback
they were undisciplined. Very undisciplined.
It's too loud for y'all to hear me. Like people have underestimated San Antonio. Not only the team, but the crowd, the everything, every facet of San Antonio from top to bottom. People have underestimated all season.
I mean, Ed, you watched the games, right? On replay?
Yeah.
And you've heard it. I mean, did you watch any of that?
Well, I don't know. I must be in a different part of the stadium than what SAJ was because I'm on the home side and we can't have those conversations. So I don't know. I don't know where you were sitting or what.
I want to add too. How about I haven't heard anyone talk about it yet. I guess I'm the only, since I care so much about football uniforms. How about the mixing of the colors between San Antonio and the Brahmas? You got the red, the yellow. It looked good. It looked good on television. I was a fan of it. Usually I'm a big, with the yellow being the away jersey instead of the traditional white jersey. They had the yellow jersey for their home game against the Stallions. So
we had a yellow out that game.
Yeah, we yellow out.
Yeah, they wore the team wore their road yellow jerseys. So
because it reminds me of how when the Dallas Cowboys wear their whites at home, and I read that the owner liked it to have the white at home just so the fans there could see the opponent's colors and things. It's a nice seeing that on television. So I liked it.
So I gotta put this up because I think Leo's feeling kind of bad now, and he
should feel bad.
He's doing a public apology to all you guys, but he says he's sticking with what he said. The second week matters more than the first. So
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And I feel that both weeks matter. We have to win this game, get the game back home so we have the home field advantage so we can completely disrupt your game plan and take that win and then go to the championship game.
Yeah.
So
we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we still haven't heard SAJ's San Antonio will win if. We'll talk about that when we come back. Oh, boy.
Houston, we've triumphed. I've made it back to Earth with the cargo intact. The game-changing, time-sensitive payload is none other than the revolutionary energy flavor we've all been waiting for. Introducing Merc Mayhem Cherry Limeade. Merc Clan played a crucial role in securing this energy flavor. And together, we've unlocked the future of power. Merc Mayhem is not just a drink. It's a statement. A fusion of relentless energy and bold flavor. The secret is out. Merc Mayhem is set to redefine the energy landscape, leaving ordinary drinks in its cosmic dust. Get ready for a taste explosion that matches Merc Clan's unparalleled power. Join the revolution, and let's unleash Merc Mayhem upon the world. Astronaut M signing off.
Okay, I say the floor is yours.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
And how much did you spend on that cigar? Tell me it's at least $20.
I spent a whopping $6.
Oh my God.
In your state.
You can't even smoke $6. I mean, do they even light up?
I'm not going to try.
It's one of them quick and sweet.
He bought a prop.
I'm not going to try. This 100% was a prop. I bought this in Rolla on the way up on Sunday night. Okay. 100% for this. Now, there was supposed to be a video that was coming out in association with this, and somebody didn't produce a video for me.
Somebody had food poisoning. That's why.
Suck it up. Suck it up, Buttercup. Okay. Here's the deal. Two possible scenarios. One is highly unlikely. First and foremost, AJ gets in the car Saturday morning, drives from the hotel, forgets the directions to the chicken coop, winds up down in Rolla or something like that, completely misses the game. Probably not going to happen, okay? The other scenario, the key to San Antonio victory is first and foremost, like everybody here said, defense has to be on fire. We have to get some picks, and we have to try and push for some pick sixes if we can, okay? That's going to be crucial. We've got to get into St. Louis's offense's head and get them rattled, get them start making more mistakes, and then capitalizing on them. And then we cannot have these lackluster second halves, specifically third quarter. We need to come out firing just as hard in the third quarter as we are in the first and second. Absolutely no mercy, foot on the gas, because St. Louis is not going to go easy on us. There is no scenario in which St. Louis is going to play conservatively in this game at all, because San Antonio is too dangerous to play conservatively against. Memphis found out the hard way. Everybody else is taking us seriously because of that. So we cannot let St. Louis in this game in any way, shape, or form. If we do, that could be certain death for us, right? Because then we're chasing that lead. We need to maintain the lead, not chase the lead. So offense has to be on fire. I know Latimer went down. That's, kind of a loss for the team. But we've got Warner in who can definitely fill that spot. He's going to be an awesome addition to the team. So we should be good on that. We've got our number 3 back who
Alizé Mack.
We've got a ton of players to make up for the players that are on the injury roster right now. So our offense should be perfectly fine. And with the 1-2 punch, we should be extremely dangerous. So you guys are going to need to be watching out for everything that we're going to be throwing at you. And I think those are going to be the keys to the San Antonio victory that we're going to see on Saturday.
And Robert, I said if. That's right. I said if. I didn't say when. So,
yes, David,
and,
I can't wait to see you either, man.
And John's comment, my favorite frenemies. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow or Saturday.
Yep.
So
well, we'll be out and about on Friday. So if you guys here in St. Louis want to meet up and hang out, come find us.
I'm getting there when the Roosters get in at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, geez.
Get that.
I want to see the arch. I got to do a little bit of sightseeing. I've never seen the arch, so.
Go to
So
McDonald's,
I think,
cover one eye, you've seen the arch.
I'm really interested. I'm really interested to see what happens if Warner catches his first pass, to hear how the crowd reacts. Because damn well when they say his name, everybody's going to be, I got to think he's going to get a cheer, but hopefully.
Ed, do you think Dad will show up for this game? You think Kurt will be there?
Oh yeah, I got to believe he will be.
Yeah.
The question will be whether he has Brenda with him, because she was kind of the straw that stirred the drink, so to speak, when he kind of started falling out of favor in St. Louis.
Okay.
But they still do a lot of great work in St. Louis. They still have the Warner's winter warm-ups with all the coat deals. So, yeah, I don't know. When I look at the game, I see, we made a lot of mistakes against Birmingham, and Birmingham made a lot of mistakes too. So it wasn't, even though they touted it at the time, 1 versus 2 and, the preview of the championship or whatever, I hardly thought that either team really played well enough to really label the game as that. But I thought the only time that St. Louis was really effective this whole season on defense is when they decided they were going to blitz. And if you remember when St. Louis played Birmingham, that first quarter, St. Louis kept bringing the house. And it was effective until all you saw the rest of the game was slant, 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 slant. We never made the adjustment, which I'll never understand, because we knew we had to make the adjustment at halftime, and we still didn't stop the slant. And the slant was ultimately what beat us in the game, was another slant. So sometimes, like I said, our third down efficiency on offense has been horrendous. So we have not been able to keep our defense off the field. And our defense on the other side, on third down, we just can't get off the field, period. And so I always look at third down, who can sustain the drives. And hopefully St. Louis is able to change that right there, because they've been averaging about a 30% clip on third downs. And, even looking back at the first time we played San Antonio, your guys' third down efficiency when we were on defense, you were 500 on third down. And so, thus the 35-28 the first time around. I mean, neither defense was really able to stop the other consistently. So anyway, so Michael, I know you gave your thoughts the first hour on keys to the game. After you've heard all these guys, have you had any change of thought, or have you thought of anything else to?
Yeah, I did, and it's going to rile up the XFL side of things. All this chat and just to finish second to the USFL winner. So the championship game is between the Michigan Panthers and the Birmingham Stallions, and the winner of that game will earn the right to go to St. Louis and clinch and win the UFL trophy and bring that to the USFL conference.
Hang on now. Who beat every USFL team in the league?
some horn bull deal with the horns forward.
Oh, exactly. Horns forward, baby. And don't you forget the 2024 UFL champion, San Antonio Brahmas. Oh, get your stuff.
I hope you guys placed a wager on the futures for the championship earlier when they were at plus 1,200.
Oh yeah. How many of you
my
guys?
goodness.
We did.
How many of you guys dropped a little bit of coin on that deal?
Well, guys, I hope it, hey, if anything, I hope you guys cashed out on that. So
I just happened to be in Vegas the week before the season started for a work trip. So
we're telling place the bets now.
I made a visit by a sports book.
I did that for I did do that for the San Antonio Gunslingers of the IFL. So I'm a big fan of Tom Menas. So I'm a big he's Michigan through and through. So he's doing they're right in the hunt at 4-5. So the top 4 teams make it there. I saw the other guys in the first hour, they cover the Gunslingers. So IFL is good football. So those watching too. So I enjoy it. It's a good product. And it's free on YouTube.
It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, BD and I cover the Gunslingers. We cover all Texas football. So
beautiful.
We have to talk about those guys.
They do. Did you guys ever get to go to their training facility? Gunslingers?
We have not been to their training facility, but we've been following the team since day one when they were playing in the San Antonio Rose Palace, which was literally a covered rodeo arena.
Yeah, they didn't even smooth out the dirt before they threw the turf on. A bunch of like this.
Oh boy!
They didn't even clean up the pile of horse crap that was on the side.
Wow.
Gotcha.
It was there for every game. It became our good luck horse crap.
But if you get a chance to go to that training facility, I've seen videos. It's great. It's phenomenal. So I'm jealous that I hope we get here in Michigan too. Hopefully we get we used to have the Saginaw Sting, so that's like 10 minutes up the road for me. So I hope hopefully we get a revival of that team. That'd be nice to have an IFL squad here in the Michigan market. So
that would be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
And honestly, I'm going to throw out a shameless plug for all the St. Louis fans. You guys need to get a team back here too. I know you had a St. Louis Arena team a long time ago. You need to get one back, right? Arena League is so much fun. It's a different game than the football that we know and love, spring and NFL. But it is so much fun. And you've seen the success stories. Kurt Warner is the success story. And there are other cats that are going to be coming along that same path. We've already seen several IFL players make the transition into the UFL and start sharpening those skills to hopefully get into the NFL, right? One of those guys could be the next one. So the cats that we're watching now could be, the cats in the IFL that we're watching now could be the next Kurt Warner story, right? And it's so much fun to follow their careers that way.
Yeah, so. I watched the Iowa Barnstormers back in the day when Kurt Warner was quarterback, so I got to see that firsthand. The only problem with St. Louis with arena football is if it doesn't go to the Enterprise where the Blues play, of course. The only other one is St. Charles Family Arena, and they've got the perfect lot. It's kind of like San Antonio with the Alamo Dome. It's got the perfect parking lot, but for whatever reason, they don't allow tailgating. So you don't allow tailgating at a football game. You're kind of behind the 8 ball to begin with.
Yeah.
So before we get into tailgating, let's take another quick break, and when we come back, let's get into the experience.
Because I've got.
If you aren't perfect, if you've ever struggled, if you've ever failed, if you want to get better, be better, and make our world better, this is the perfect brand for you. True Victory. Founded by U.S. military veterans, True Victory is a sportswear and streetwear brand dedicated to building everyday champions on and off the field. We're a cause. Our purpose is to transform lives and elevate humanity through the power and unity of sports. Positive stories and serving others. We're dedicated to the game, the grind, and the globe. But most importantly, we're dedicated to you. That's what it means to be always true.
Okay, Ed, real quick, you were just talking about the family center out in St. Charles, right?
Yep.
Perfect parking lot, great place for tailgating. They don't allow it at all. Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio, where the San Antonio Gunslingers play, one of the most legendary and storied sports venues in San Antonio, and they do the exact same thing. BD and I went to when they moved to the Freeman Coliseum, went to the first game, started pulling the grill out, setting up the cooler, setting up the awning, getting everything fired up. Right as I'm trying to put the match to the grill, this guy comes up and says, "Sir, you can't do that." And I'm like, "Well, why not? It's just a match to we're gonna cook." He's like, "Oh, we don't allow open flame here, and in fact, we don't allow any kind of tailgating." And so I was like, "Well, what are we supposed to do? Just sit behind the shade tree and drink beer?" And he said, "I guess."
And that's
And
what
so we wound up doing.
we moved our chairs into the shade and just had a nice chest in between us. Sat for 2 hours before the open and just drank the whole time.
Jorge, I gotta say this to you. We had the Predator couple and we had the Rig Rocker here a couple weeks ago, and they come in with this conceived notion that St. Louis fans were going to be obnoxious and rude, and it wasn't going to be a good experience. Rig Rocker stayed at my house for the weekend, and they pretty much all said when the weekend was over that they had an awesome time when they were here. And so, I know Dirty has already told you guys, hey, if you're going to go to the tailgates in St. Louis, you better look me up first so I can go with you, because you don't want to meet anybody without him. And I'm like, dude, why are you putting that in their minds before they ever get started? Let them form their own opinions on St. Louis. I will tell you, when it comes to tailgating, no, granted, hopefully the rain holds off, because if we get the 35,000 fans or whatever that I think we're going to have for the game, the tailgating is wall-to-wall people. And it's nothing but one grill to the next grill to the next grill to the next grill. And I guarantee you guys won't get one or two tailgates. Everybody will want you to stop and take pictures. Everybody will want you to stop and take pictures. It's going to be an awesome experience. So what are you what's your guys' plans? When you show up? Are you just gonna dig in, or are you gonna come to our tailgate first and kind of get some liquid courage, or what?
Well, this is my first time ever ever being in St. Louis, ever. Like, I've never even had a layover in St. Louis. So I have never been to St. Louis in my life. So I have no idea what to expect. All I know, I've been waiting for, this will be the second year that I've been waiting to meet Excalibur. So I'd like to.
He's been commenting.
So I have been bugging him all season to, like, it's like when I'm up there, we gotta link up, But as far as,
here you go, he's throwing it out right there.
There you go. Like,
respect for the Brahma Legion, but no nation compares to Battlehawk Nation.
Now I know that that reputation was thrown out there as far as, obnoxious and this and that about the Battlehawks fans. But after what I experienced last week from the Birmingham Stallions fans, you guys really, really, really have to cross a lot of lines before I consider you worse than what they gave me.
Yeah, I was told I was supposed to ask you guys how the experience went with Birmingham.
As far as interactions with their fans, now this is just a few bad apples, but I will say that I received a multitude of very racist comments thrown at me by their fans. And I called it out. I made a video on it, called it out. I made sure I hid the people's names to protect them because I didn't want to be accused of doxing. I didn't want anything like that. But that's really the most difficult interactions that I've had with another fan base, unfortunately, that I had to experience. So, like I said, I mean, as far as the obnoxious or whatever you guys want to call it for St. Louis, like you guys, for me to be able to be like, I don't ever want to come back here. You guys have to cross a lot of lines for me to feel that way. I mean, I honestly just the experiences that I've had with all the St. Louis fans that have ever come to San Antonio, because you guys have only ever come to San Antonio. We haven't had a chance to go there. It's been nothing but positive, and I would hope that it's going to be the same experience, going up there, especially for someone who's never been to St. Louis in his life.
Yeah. I will say, as a group, we've done a lot of traveling this year. And honestly, I mean, we've had great experiences with everywhere we've gone. Memphis was fantastic. Arlington with the Banditos, Houston with the Predator couple and Rig Rocker, just great experiences. I didn't go to DC, but they have a bar gate instead of a tailgate. So, but St. Louis fans, like Jorge said, I've never been to St. Louis either. This is my first time. And, I really, really want to meet. I met all you guys before, met a lot of the fans that have come down, but there's a lot more that I haven't. So I'm really looking forward to it. And you know what? I think y'all are one of the most or have some of the most annoying fans on Facebook and stuff. But
I will say, you guys are the Dallas Cowboys fans of the UFL.
Well, I will say
that I've met have been absolutely fantastic. So I don't have any worries about, like being driven away by a fan base because everyone's been great.
Yeah. Like I said, as many times as you guys get tired of hearing about attendance, we get just as tired of hearing about we have a third of the fans, but we're louder. And it's like, golly, whatever, dude. It's like, okay.
Now,
but anyway,
I do want to have a little prop bet. When are we going to hear Stan Kroenke's name at any point during the game?
God, yes. God, yes.
Guaranteed.
That's all. I mean, so, I might as well yell it out. Kroenke was right, That's and just upset everybody.
Yeah.
Let me jump in here real quick. Since day one, when BD and I found out that San Antonio was getting a team, we immediately went on your Facebook page and started making frenemies, if you will, and taking shots because we knew you guys had the numbers.
Friends.
Yeah, we knew you guys had the loyalty that we were trying to build in San Antonio. So 100%, we tip our hats to you guys for that. You guys have the numbers for sure. I personally been up here for tailgating. I think considering what you guys have to work with, you do a great job. I don't know that it's necessarily kind of the same vibe that we have in San Antonio, but we're also just a different town. So it's hard to compare. You can't really compare apples to oranges, But I will say the tailgating here has been phenomenal. The people have been great. Yeah, we take shots at each other over the internet. We talk trash. We mess with each other, but that's what fan bases do, right? when it comes time for the game, we're all going to hang out in the parking lot. We're going to drink beer together. We're going to talk trash. We're going to rib each other, right? But it's not ever anything personal. We've heard of one specific group of people having a hard time up here. Turns out that wasn't actually truly what happened, right? So
I got to step away for 2 seconds. I forgot to show you guys something.
Oh, potty break.
I think he has a hamburger somewhere.
Yeah. I've dealt with the fan base up here before, had absolutely no problems whatsoever, right? I was walking around in my Brahmas gear, completely unrelated to the game that was going on. Everybody loved it. They enjoyed it. They thought I was here for the other Texas team that was playing, and they were surprised when I told them I wasn't actually supporting that team. But never had any problems with any of the fans here. So, again, in that regard, we're looking forward to coming and hanging out with you guys. Yeah, we talk a lot of trash. We give you a hard time, but this is football. This is what we love. This is what we're passionate about. And we're going to go and we're going to have a great game on Saturday. Somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to lose. At the end of the day, we're going to hoist beers together and we're going to celebrate a good game.
Speaking of hoisting beers, you guys always talk about Brahma beer. Is this not a good-looking can?
Is that available still? Because I want one.
Absolutely, we are not only going to indulge on this. Maybe even tomorrow night when we're together, we'll have some of these. But if not, I hand these out the whole tailgate.
I definitely want to bring one back. So
they're very yummy.
You're like me. I give out Brahma beer like it's water.
Yeah, I hand these. I've been handing these out all regular season. So, we'll have plenty of those. Having said that,
well, real quick, hook me up with a 6-pack and a single because I'll be the one that's bringing them back for everybody, being that I'm driving. So,
having said that, I know I could talk to you guys another hour, but we've got another show on the Fuel Sports Network starting up here in a couple minutes, so I'm going to have to let you guys go so I don't hold up the next one. But I guess I should wish you guys good luck, even though I don't know that I would actually mean it. But
safe travels.
But anyway, thanks guys for.
You know what? How about wishing to just a good game? A good hard game.
Like I said, injuries suck. I would rather see every game at full strength because to me, there's more fun in winning when you get the best out of every team you play.
Well, I think regardless, next week, all the injuries, I think love it and fire everyone being out is kind of just precautionary. So I think next week will be, 2 teams at full strength. So.
All right.
And you know what, Ed? I just want to put it out there from Brahma Babe to those St. Louis Battlehawks. Bless y'all's cute little hearts.
With that said, thanks, guys. We'll be seeing you tomorrow night.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah. Any parting shots, Michael, before we go down the lonely road?
Well, I don't have any parting shots. It was just, I hope to see, I really hope to see a good football game. I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch, and I'll be, as a USFL guy, hey, it could be Panthers. If the Panthers play one of these teams, be able to see how these teams match up. Panthers beat the Battlehawks week 1. Lost to the San Antonio Brahmas by 10 points. Now, that was in the midst of Michigan was going through some transitions at quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Michigan Panthers have Birmingham to deal with first things first, and then worry about the XFL champion later on.
We kind of ran out of time for our official predictions, so I'll put out a post out there on our page and let everybody know what our official predictions are. But thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next Thursday. Go Battlehawks.
Go Panthers.
Hopefully the playoffs are in St. Louis next week, but we'll see. But thanks everybody for joining us.